Welcome to the Show Up Show, where we bring you everything you need to emerge as a powerful and healthy leader in your life, business, and relationships. Because how you show up in one area of life is how you show up in all of them. I'm your host, Debbie Pace, author of The Journal to Freedom, a foundational guide to help you examine your beliefs and how they shape your patterns and behaviors in life, so you can transform what's not working and can show up like a boss in every area of your life. April Macowicz was a single mother who divorced young and hadn't graduated from high school. With one tough decision, she completely changed her life. So how did she do it? And how does she now use her own life lessons to help others in real estate and business? Tune in to find out more.
My name is April Macowicz, otherwise known as Mac, and I am a real estate broker, coach, and mentor.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like it's pretty packed. So can you tell us a little bit about how you work everything together? What does your day look like? What does all that mean?
Chaos. That's what that means. It's chaos. But in very organized chaos, I guess you could say. So it is a lot. So as a real estate professional, you do have a lot of things going on, especially one that's a top producer. I also run multiple teams across California, so that becomes pretty busy. Ultimately, I just time block everything. So everything, I live by my calendar. I live by my schedule because, when you have multiple things going, you have no choice. Otherwise it is chaos and you forget things. Right now, actually, I'm able to spend half and half of my time devoted to each outlet. So basically half my time is spent on building my business in real estate and conducting sales and things of that nature. And then the other half is coaching real estate agents as well as small business owners, people that are starting a side hustle and they need guidance. I'm able to help them as well. So I spend half and half of my time with both.
And that's it's quite a difference between going out and selling real estate versus actually coaching people. How did you get into the coaching aspect of the business?
Well, that's a good question. It's because I ended up in the business. And what I mean by that is when I started in real estate about 10 years ago, I noticed there was a huge lack of training. So a lot of people don't realize when you go into the real estate industry, you are an independent contractor. And what that actually means is that your broker who you go underneath, your Keller Williams, your Compass, your whoever, they don't actually spend the time one-on-one training you. They give you videos, they give you maybe some workbooks, some outlets that in that way, and you're on your own. They have no obligation to. So I saw a huge need. I was, of course, hustling, trying to make things work for myself in a brand new industry. And I had to basically do everything myself and be very resourceful. And that's another reason why a lot of real estate agents fail in the first 2 to 5 years of their business, because they don't have someone that they can count on to coach them, and not just the woo-woo coaching that you see, the big guys, out there coaching you how to get clients and how to do marketing. No, it's the nitty-gritty of learning how to do the contracts and actually understanding the law behind it. It's huge. It's a very litigious, area. People don't realize how much we have to know in the real estate industry. So long story short, basically, I saw a need for more one-on-one coaching. And that's when I decided, I need to help people. They need to be able to make it in this business.
Wow, what a great gift, because I know that when I started out in my own business, the organization piece wasn't there. It was like, you talk about chaos. It was, working until early hours of the morning and getting up early again. And then trying to also manage a family and raise kids and have a household and stuff like that. So to have someone holding your hand is such a valuable resource. So I think it's amazing that you're doing that. But I would love to hear what it is that really drives you to helping people, because it's not It's not like you couldn't just make the money on real estate, right? I mean, it's chaotic enough just doing real estate. There's a bigger story there, and I can just feel it. And I would love to know what drives you to the helping people aspect.
Yeah, so you're going to make me go deep, huh? I will tell you, without getting too personal with our limited of time, I can go on for a long time, by the way. I had a very challenging childhood. And from the time that I was 5 years old, I was kind of in charge. I was kind of on my own. I was in a survival mode most of my life. Actually, I would say probably all of my life, I was in survival mode. And I just got to a point when I saw the need in real estate, when I saw that some agents were not doing well and they had no guidance and they had no direction, it kind of brought me back from my childhood and realizing that I hated doing everything all by myself. And I had to do everything from the time I was young. In every aspect of my life, I've had to do it on my own. And I'm blessed in the fact that I have a strong head on my shoulders. I'm blessed in the fact that naturally I was able to just be resourceful, right? I was able to figure it out. I think I had to, right? I had to learn how to figure it out at a very early age. And so my passion for helping people comes from that. I would probably assume, because I needed direction and it was exhausting doing everything by myself. And so I just knew that I had the capability of helping people. And of course I had the passion to do that. And so why not? And I wanted to see people succeed. I will say that my mom was a ninth grade dropout, single mom, career waitress, turns trucker. So I saw that she didn't realize that she had the ability to become more and better. She wanted to become more and better, but she didn't know how to get there. And so I saw that growing up, and I refused to allow myself to not believe that I could do better. And so I also take that. And so when I see people struggling, like I saw my mom her whole life, or my whole life, I should say, I just have this natural inclination to just say, you can do it. And it's one thing to say you can do it, and it's another to show them that you can. And so I was able to do something with my life. And I want other people to succeed in that way, right? I want them to know that they can take their crazy idea of whatever that is, their side hustle, their new business idea, and they can do something amazing with it. They just might need a little help. And so if I can offer that, that's fulfilling in itself.
I love how you pulled a place from childhood where you didn't want people to have to experience themselves. It's funny because there's this philosophy that I have it a lot with raising children, where as we raise our children, we're healing the things from our childhood. So we get like a redo with our own kids. And as we're raising them differently, we're then healing the pieces of ourselves that felt broken. And they're words I don't typically use, but I think just for the point of this story, it makes sense. And so here you are, and you're in real estate, and you've got it going on, and you're connecting still to this place where you're like, I don't want to do it all. I'm tired of doing it all. And really can see that need in the industry with other people who may not have been as resourceful as you and may not have really strengthened the muscles that you strengthened to get where you are. So it's such a beautiful story for you to share with us. And I thank you so much for doing that. And I'm interested too in like, what's next for you? How do you see all of this evolving and growing? Because it's like, you're young, there's so much time ahead now. Where do you see everything going in your life?
Thanks, Debbie. I don't know that I agree that I'm that young.
No one ever does.
I feel like the timeline's getting a lot shorter all of a sudden. It's very quickly coming. So all joking aside, every day I wake up and there's a couple of things that I keep my eyes on. And I have two daughters. I've been a single mom for the past few years to my oldest. My youngest daughter right now is 13, and my oldest is in college, and she's 19 years old. And I look at them and I see how they're developing into these beautiful young women who have strength and abundance and in their own rights. And that can only come from seeing what I've done. And so that alone fuels me to continue to help other people, and not just in the real estate industry, but as a single mom, I know the struggles that we go through, seeing my mother not believe in herself, knowing very well that she could potentially do what she needed to do with her life. Like she could do anything if she just believed a little bit, right? And I'm living proof that you can break your patterns. You can break your patterns of your environment from your childhood. A lot of people grow up in a certain environment and they don't break those patterns. They just continue that same life, right? And so I broke the pattern. I see my children are thriving in their own way. And it has empowered me to want to help more people, so I offer one-on-one coaching to not just real estate agents, but, small business owners or people who just have an idea, but they don't know what to do with it. I'm able to help them because I myself have built businesses, not just in real estate over the years, but I've been able to build side hustles, and I've been able to put myself in rooms where people are way smarter than me. So I've learned so much, and now it's time that I can give back and hopefully help one other person to find their power within themselves to be able to do whatever they want. Like that sounds so cliche, like you can do whatever you want, but it is so true. And you don't actually realize it until someone shows you, puts your face in the mirror and says, look, you can do this. You can do whatever it is you want. It doesn't matter if you maybe didn't graduate high school, maybe didn't go to college, maybe have zero experience. You've been a stay-at-home mother for however long. Like whatever your story is, it doesn't matter. It's just a chapter in your book. You have so many more chapters to write. And if I can coach someone to finding their freedom in their life and empower them to reach their goals, then I have fulfilled what I believe is my gift to the world, is my purpose, I guess.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Something you said is so powerful. And I want to go back and revisit it again because somebody listening, and maybe a bunch of somebody's listening to this podcast, are going to have this hit home, which is if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find a bigger room. Because we don't grow when we're surrounded by all of our peers who are doing the same things and who are telling us how great we are. And right, when we really grow is when we go into those bigger, scary rooms where maybe we don't know anyone and we feel like we have imposter syndrome and we don't belong there. And what am I doing here? And like you said, there's people in your audience, people in your community who think, oh, well, I didn't finish high school, or I didn't go to college, and who am I to do this? And a lot of imposter syndrome. And if you can step into that place and then really move beyond it, be willing to go into those scary new rooms, the bigger rooms, you will rise so much higher. And that, I think, is the piece that I love, which is it gets to be easy, but you have to move through the fear first. Like you have to be willing to make the difficult decision. And when you make the difficult decision, that's when it gets to be easy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that you just really hit it on the head. And I would like to just add that I didn't graduate high school. I didn't graduate high school. I got married at 17 years old and then got divorced at 21 and started on the same path of being a waitress. And at one point in my early 20s, when I could handle it, when I was young and stout, I was working 4 jobs. And so I did have that fear, and I already had that mentality in my young adult life that, well, this is it. You kind of go backwards and you start remembering how your childhood was, right? And sometimes I went backwards and thought, well, if I didn't graduate, and I'm a single mom now, that must mean that I can no longer do anything.
Right.
But even though I went through those times where I doubted my abilities, I doubted my anything, I just did not think that I could become successful. There's that deep fire inside that's just like, no, you survived so much, April. You're going to do something. Don't go back. Don't be that person. And so I just made the effort. Like, okay, well, first things first. If I'm ever going to be the first person to graduate college, I need to get my GED, and I did it. And so that one little win gave me a little bit of confidence. Oh, wow. Okay, I passed. I can do it. And so it's just having that one little win and then building on that.
Yeah. And it's momentum because it takes one
Exactly.
win. So just to share with you a little story about myself this morning. So I was running, I did a None to Run program this year, and I completed it 12 weeks starting from it's like similar to from like a couch to 5K. And I had allowed myself earlier this year to really just, I don't know, get frumpy. Like I just wasn't doing the things. I mean, I think that this is the kind of year that a lot of people found themselves in that situation. And so I did this None to Run in 12 weeks, but then for the last 2 months, I've kind of allowed myself to get like out of balance and focus on more on the business stuff and more on the other things. And what I found was I started feeling worse about myself, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. And I think that this is what we're talking about. It's that momentum. So one bad decision, and I make it like a bad decision, meaning not doing something. So instead of me getting up and going out and continuing the running, I was like, oh, not today. I'm not doing it. And we tend to disappoint ourselves because let's be honest, the people we're disappointing and the people we're pleasing really are us. It's all about us. It's all our inner story. So this morning or last night, actually, I told myself, I said, okay, Debbie, it's time to make one tough decision. Just start the momentum, make one difficult decision, and then just do it. And I have to tell you, that run sucked. That was so hard. I got out, I was like, oh, your head's telling you all these things that are wrong. My back was hurting. I was like, what are we doing? But the whole thing and the whole time, it's like, just complete this decision, see it through. Because when you're on the other side of it, it looks so different. And you know this, the other side of your GED, the whole world opened up for you. And it's so powerful. And if one person listening to this podcast is in a situation where they're like, what is going wrong? Why am I not having this? I would really just ask you to take one decision right now that you can take. Even though it's difficult, you may not feel like it, it will change. It will shift the direction and start that positive momentum for you. So April, I'm so glad that you brought that up because it's powerful. And your story is similar to a lot of friends that I have where there was stuff in the background, and we all have it. And that's the other thing, is feeling so isolated, like I'm the only one, I'm the faulty one. And so many people have stories in the background of, well, when I was younger, this is what I did. And I really thought that, like, thinking that's the way life was going to look forever. But at any moment, and right now in this moment, you can make a different decision, and it can be so much different. And how proud are you of yourself for doing that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. And you do become extremely proud. There's like this, you know how you have the levels of, what is it? Grief, where you go through denial and anger. I think you kind of tend to do that as well. When you actually reach something, you accomplish something, even if it's small, you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. It is something that's new. It's amazing. So
Yeah, it's like a shedding of the old, like a shedding
oh,
of
yeah.
what is no longer you.
Absolutely. And every person can have that. Every person can have that with just a little belief. It's amazing. And you're right. Definitely take that one step. Don't look at the entire picture. Don't look at the huge goal. Like, just take the first step. What's the one thing that you can do that's going to make a difference today? And then you can just reach heights. There are days where I sit back and I look at everything that I have, and I have a brick and mortar, and I have an online business, and I have all these beautiful clients, and I think, wow, like I did this. This is mine. And I suffer from imposter syndrome. I think a lot of us do. And I think, how did I get here? What did I do? And it was all those little steps, the little steps. And when you get to 10, 15 years in the business or whatever your business is, and you look back and you can see all the little steps that you took. And it's almost like when you look back, you're like, wow, it's hard, but it's easy. At the time, it was like, wow, okay, that wasn't so bad, right? Today's a good day to start. Just take the one step. And that one step might just be waking up 10 minutes earlier and taking 10 extra minutes before everybody else gets up, just to journal and tell yourself how much you just love yourself. Most of us need that. And most of us don't believe in ourselves, and we don't love ourselves. And that is the biggest problem that we have. And that's our biggest limiting factor with our success in whatever we decide to do. We just don't love ourselves. And that is the first thing that you need to change.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you're being a guide for your community to really have them borrow your belief. And I think that that's for coaches. I would say that as a general rule, most coaches, the people who come to them need to borrow belief for a while. And it's holding that space for others to be able to see what we see in them. And I think that that is such a great key to what you're doing, and keep continuing the great work that you're doing in the world, April. The world needs more of you. So where can people find you? Those who are inspired by your story and want to learn more, where can they find you?
So they can go to aprilreneemac.com. So aprilreneemac.com. That's where you can read a little bit about me. And of course, my coaching packages are there as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing more of your great creations, April.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for having me. I applaud you for all that you're doing as well. Thank you so much.
If you like what you're hearing on the Show Up Show, be sure to subscribe. And if you really, really, really like it, please leave a 5-star review. If you'd like to connect with the Show Up Show on social media, you can find us on Facebook at the Show Up Show Podcast or on Twitter at the Show Up Show. Let's be sure to connect over on the other side. Thanks for listening.